24 e-gamers descended upon the city of Jönköping, Sweden to compete in the first premier tournament for StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Here we are on day 3 of DreamHack Winter for the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championships with 6 players left fighting for their share of $50,000. So much on the line. Who will come out on top? It's going to be an exciting Saturday. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship. I am Nathanius. I will be hosting your desk throughout the course of today. I am joined by 3 wonderful gentlemen, Snoot, Apollo, and DeMuslim. How are you guys today?
Excellent. After that intro, to start this off, I'm feeling the goosebumps and the hype. Thank you, Nate. I'm having a great day.
How about you? Are you feeling it, Ben?
I'm feeling it, Nate. Like, we had a great day yesterday, an even better, or we're going to have an even better day today. TY against PartinG to start off the day. I'm actually pumped for this.
I'm sure you feel really well, Jens, but anything you would like to say to get the day started?
Just with this amount of Zerg playing here today, and especially Solar, I couldn't be more hyped.
All right, we do have a little bit of something for everybody here. There's Terran, there's Protoss, and there's a lot of Zerg left here at the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship. And as we go throughout the course of today, I'd like to remind you, of course, to keep competing, keep sending in your tweets, as ROCCAT will be giving away lots more swag throughout the course of DreamHack Winter 2015. Make sure to use the hashtag ROCCAT, use the hashtag SetTheRules, and the hashtag DHW15. You win some sweet gear, mice, keyboards, all sorts of awesome stuff. But with that being said, it has been quite an exciting tournament for the first offline premier big show, $50,000.
Yeah.
I think a lot of good games.
I think the format's something that really made this tournament interesting compared to a lot of other tournaments that we've had in StarCraft 2. Round-robin groups with 6 players where 3 go through. First of each group goes straight to the deep end of the bracket stages, and then everyone fighting. And especially when you're looking at the group stages, some were a little bit predictable, some were very, very close, coming down to a single map win or loss, which saw you go through or saw you go home.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had players they were really cheering for in this tournament. The way that the qualification process was set up, I think, was also another really unique part of this tournament. We had, you know, a little bit of something for everybody. You know, you had your American players coming in, your Canadian players, people from all over Europe got to show up, and maybe some of the players that didn't get quite as far, but finally got a chance to play on a bigger stage. I was personally really happy to see Puck, the American player, make a top 8 finish. Who are your favorites coming in that we don't see here today?
That's a tough question.
That's a very tough question.
Who are you happy to see come out here and compete in the first tournament?
Okay, that's still a tough question. I was always hyped for Solar, but he's in here, so I can't use that as an answer.
He's like 1-2 DreamHacks though, man.
Yeah, and I was excited to see him play. But I can't use him because he's already in, so let me think. I was excited to see TLO. He's not in the tournament.
We're all always excited to see TLO.
Well, it's Legacy of the Void. Everyone is trying to figure out how exactly to play it. And to be honest, it's not so much one individual player. That's the most excited I was about this tournament, is seeing what exactly are the pro players going to use in a competitive environment, because this is, of course, a big, big tournament, lots of money on the line. No one's hiding anything. Everyone's going to show what they've discovered over the past couple of weeks with the game being released. And that we've actually seen some awesome stuff.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair to say. Benjamin, as the best, I would say, out of the analysts here, maybe not quite.
Well, Snoot, man.
Well, Snoot's still a pro.
It's okay.
Snoot's still a pro. Us desk riders here. Who's surprised you the most as far as busting out unique strategies or playing better than you expected?
Well, like, the big surprise for me this tournament is Firecake. I mean, that guy's sitting in the winner bracket final, and none of us even thought about him at the start of the tournament. Like, he kind of had a bit of a surge at the end of HOTS. After Swarm Host got nerfed, he kind of fell apart a little bit, like we didn't see him a lot. But during the Swarm Host here, he was exceptionally strong. And here, he's in the winner bracket final. I was a little sad to see players like Lilbo go out, despite starting 3-0 in his group, taking out one of the Koreans as well. So, had a lot of surprises.
Yeah. Bunny also as well, one of the stronger Terran players in Heart of the Swarm, also going out quite early. Not seeing him here today is a little bit disappointing. We, of course, still have TY, but the Terrans didn't really get very far in this tournament.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm glad that the
Wonder why.
I'm glad the Zerg player took time out of his day to make sure to mention that for all of us Terranteers out there. Of course, we are going to go over the previous groups that have been played out so we can get just a bit of a recap of everything that's happened so far, see where each players were all eliminated. Of course, we started off with groups A and B to kick the tournament off 2 days ago. Unsurprisingly, I think PartinG and Solar dominating their groups, and then a few of the guys that, especially you guys, have been really cheering for, like Showtime, finishing very high as well.
Showtime started that group 0-2 to win his next 3 games in a row to get out that group. That was a huge turnaround performance. A little bit surprised that Huck couldn't get out this group. I really thought he would be up there.
It was an incredibly hard group, though. I mean, Showtime, Blythe, sort of, and Huck are all of a very similar caliber.
And I think Group B, I mean, maybe you can comment on this, Newt. Pretty predictable top 3 there. It'd be surprising if one of the others got through.
Yeah, I would say so. If I were to rank these players from 1 to 6, I think this is roughly what it would look like. Semper looks very impressive against Solar. I would have to say some very interesting ideas going on there. I think everyone enjoyed watching those CVTs play out. But I would say these results in Group B were pretty much expected, especially Solar's dominance going 5-0. Not even dropping a single map, I believe.
Yeah,
Correct.
he completely dominated that group. And Group C and D, I think, this is where things got a little bit more tricky. We saw the Koreans, blood was spilled as Bomber barely escaped Group C, and TY edged out in 2nd place after Nurchio.
Super close groups. These were, on day 1, the most exciting games. They came from these groups. And one thing that really stood out above the rest is that, you mentioned it to Muslim, Lilbo couldn't get out, which is a bit of a surprise, despite playing so well. He beat TY, and he beat Nurchio, but he still couldn't get out the group of how close that was. And he lost to Tilo in the very last game that he played, and Tilo snuck out in 3rd place instead.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, especially the Bunny result, might have been the most surprising one out of all of those. And then we went on to the bracket stage, and we had quite a few awesome games. Puck had a dominating performance against TLO before being knocked out by TY. And Showtime has really stepped up that PVZ. In case you guys missed it, the highlights are everywhere from yesterday. Is some pretty mad stuff, and some good comebacks from Showtime as well.
Yeah, Showtime played amazing. Actually, probably for me yesterday, the best player in the tournament. I think that Solar and PartinG, great. Great games from Solar, but something was very special that we saw when Showtime was playing yesterday. It was clean, it was solid. He could have been the best Protoss player in the world for all I knew. He played that well.
Yeah, the way that he chose the builds for the different maps was just immaculate.
Every single map different.
Yeah, and he had the perfect approach to it. Like on Prime Terraces, the feared big Zerg gold map, he always had some tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, and despite the highlight being the Muta onslaught, every time you looked at something on the map, Showtime was doing something perfect, be it Phoenix picking up lurkers. Like, so many lurker harassment groups went out onto the map, not one of them accomplished anything. Like, Showtime was always on the ball.
And he's pretty much my dark horse to sneak out that lower bracket to come towards the final, but the biggest problem he's going to run into is PartinG or TY, whoever makes it out this first game. If he does manage to beat Nurchio, would play against.
Nurchio is one of the stronger CVP players out there, so...
It's a great game, that one.
So, really looking forward to that PVC.
I really like that we just have this setup where we know who the strongest players are. We know that Solar was the most successful player, basically, throughout the course of the Legacy of the Void beta. He's come here, he's shown up, he won the first tournament that he played, the StarCraft Invitational, just a week ago, and now here he is, poised to go to the Grand Finals. We know that there's the possibility of the upset from Firecake, but can either of the other Koreans even beat Solar? He's looked too good.
Well, we saw PartinG try, and he did take a map, which was amazing.
That map, that game, by the way, was sick. Like the way he held on against that fast lurker push without disruptors or anything.
But he had to fight so hard for that win. And I think if Solar made a few adjustments and played a tiny bit better, maybe brought an overseer to snipe observers, tiny details like that, that push could have been even stronger. And I think Solar dropping that map, he said it himself. He was not that happy dropping a map. And I think Solar, if he's coming into this with top condition, I'm not even sure if PartinG will be able to take one map.
Overwhelming.
That's how strong Solar is looking right now.
Yep.
Yeah. So very interested to see if anyone can pull blood from him. Of course, we talk about the first matchup that we have now, PartinG versus TY. We saw TY play a pretty greedy style of Terran so far in this tournament. Didn't work so well against Lilbo. Do we think that PartinG's going to bring that extra edge that Puck didn't yesterday to kill TY if he chooses to take these slow macro openings again?
PartinG already knows how TY plays, which is this very, very defensive, fast 3-base style. And PartinG, he's always been known to kill Terrans no matter what they do. He's very aggressive. In Legacy of the Void, though, we haven't seen him play, but PartinG's been a bit of a magician in this matchup. Like I talked about it the other day, but Home Story Cup finals, when it looked like all hope was lost against Flash, he managed to win with just pure gateway units against a bigger bio army. So PartinG's micro is out of control.
Yeah, PartinG was always known for his legendary PvT. At some point, going up to win rates in tournaments at, I believe it was 90% or above. Like, he was the guy to look to in Heart of the Swarm for PvT. He was basically every single Protoss player that struggled against Terran would just study PartinG all day, every day.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the most fierce players to watch. And as we get ready to go into this match, for any of you guys curious, we are going to take a look at the schedule just so you have an idea of where we'll be going throughout the course of the day, what matches will be played when. You don't want to miss the finals. This is going to be a really sick tournament. I think all these matches look really awesome. Legacy of the Void has just changed up things so much, but we're going to start off with PartinG versus TY. Then we're going to play Nurchio versus Showtime. And the third match will be that winner bracket final to determine who the first grand finalist is, Solar versus Firecake. And I'm mostly really curious to see how Firecake tries to steal that, because I feel like he's going to need to steal it if he wants to beat Solar.
Yeah, definitely. He has to steal that. And then, of course, we'll be going through the lower bracket to find the second place. So 6 games today, not that many games. Legacy of the Void is a lot faster as well. So as it said on the screen, you have to kind of be a little bit careful with the times, because we will be playing game after game after game after game. But today, I think we are going to see some mind-blowingly good StarCraft, especially because Legacy of the Void is in a very good place, even so close after its release, is that I think we're going to have a close finals, but I would still say Solar's going to take it overall.
Yeah, I like that we have this Titan that's looming over, and it's everybody else trying to see, first of all, who's going to get the opportunity to try and beat him. But, the question of whether or not anybody even can, even the other Koreans. And we're going to take a closer look at these players that will be, well, these Koreans that will be fighting to be the guys that you would think maybe could beat Solar. PartinG and TY in their booths on stage, getting ready to kick off this series. It's going to be tough. And I think a lot of the volatility comes down, we talked about it. It's Legacy of the Void. It's a brand new game. So many things have changed. These guys have really, been thrown out of their normal comfort zones.
PartinG is a very special guy. He's just got something about him. You talked about it briefly just now, that he has something that a lot of other players don't do, and it's like an X-Factor type of thing where he can come in and just blow your mind with how good he can play. He's played at one DreamHack before, and it was earlier on in France, and he won it. Instantly, just cruised through, very confident, and I feel he feels as confident to do the same again at this one.
He definitely has a lot on his plate, and of course he's up against TY, who, it's been a bit of a mixed bag versus Protoss at this tournament. Taking, I'd say, the losses against the more aggressive player. We looked at, of course, Lilbo in the groups, but then Puck played a very middle-of-the-road aggression. Puck didn't play super macro, he didn't play super cheesy, kind of just took his base, got his tech set up, and then attacked, and that wasn't able to break TY. So do you think, does PartinG have to step up the aggression to beat him, or is TY's style too good?
You guys can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think it's an attacker versus defender, quite clear game here from both.
Certainly is. And one thing you have to take into account here, if TY's given the space and given the time, his late game looks really scary, especially with his Liberator and tank play. He had a really weird mix against Protoss, but he used it to great effect.
Yeah, I thought that was the most surprising from a Terran perspective to see, because normally those tanks are vulnerable to the pickoffs, but the Liberators really supplement those well. He's one of the players that's really shown, I think, the proper usage of the new Legacy of the Void tools for Terran that make Protoss' life a nightmare, to be honest.
Yeah, he has, and he'll definitely be using them here. He'll use everything he can to be able to take down PartinG. I think TY is a favorite over the both of them, though. I don't know if you agree with that or not, Snoop.
I'm not sure. It really depends on how well PartinG can transfer his Heart of the Swarm skills over to Legacy of the Void in PvT. I'm not sure exactly how well PartinG is doing in Legacy so far at PvT. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see for these awesome games coming up.
Well, yeah, if you talked about this 6 months ago in Heart of the Swarm, everybody would pick PartinG 99% of the time. But here, Legacy of the Void, brand new game, and it favors very different styles, multitasking and aggression around the map. And TY's got just that.
All right, seems like a lot of us are favoring TY here, as I'd like to see some cheddar out of PartinG, personally. But the match is ready, so we're going to kick it over to DeMuslim and Apollo. Guys, take it away.
Thank you very much, Nathanius. Very excited to get day 3 of the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship underway, as up here to the top left-hand side, spawning in to Central Protocol as the red Protoss player. It is PartinG from Yowie Flash Wolves. 1 DreamHack before, 1 DreamHack win. Can he get 2 out of 2? The Muslim.
Smooth, suave dude. And spawning in the bottom left as our blue Terran, hailing from KT Rolster, it is TY.
Who has played at a DreamHack before. He played at DreamHack Bucharest last year. Unfortunately, only got to the top 16, was eliminated by none other than MC.
I do remember that, and TY was looking so hot for that tournament too, but just managed to fall to, again, the aggression of MC. And PartinG, a very similar Protoss to MC in that he is just pure aggression.
To be honest, TY has hardly traveled a lot over the years. I think he's been abroad 4 times his entire career outside of Korea, where he's played in China, Bucharest, and he came to Home Story Cup.
He did come to Home Story Cup where he fell to Lazira in the top 8, and he was looking so strong again at the start of that tournament, but just fell to a player that we all kind of predicted him to beat. So here, again, you guys looking at him as the favorite here, but honestly, we don't know how he's going to perform.
Well, PartinG's already got a very early scout. He sent a very early probe down south to find exactly where TY is and to know what he's up to. He's decided to go double gateway off one base here, the Muslim.
Yeah, very unusual. Now getting the cybernetic score, but this is going to be 2 gateways up before your cyber core's finished. TY scouts, and he's now knowing what he's up against here. Is it going to be Adepts? Is it going to be Stalkers? He doesn't really know.
I mean, from this position, if you're going to be expanding, which it obviously is TY, is it just a simple bunker that needs to get placed down and be wary of units about to approach?
One of the most awkward things about this map against Adepts is how open it is between your main and your natural. This isn't a ramp. This is flat path here, so you can always see what's at the end or what's behind the base there. So using Adepts to scout and being very aggressive and just throwing them absolutely everywhere, it's very annoying for a Terran to deal with.
Well, aggressive opening here for PartinG, and we do have the command center safely placed inside the main base of TY, a bunker just forward of his original barracks.
Oh, this looks like PartinG aggression here, but what's he going to do with this pylon?
Would it be a Stargate, perhaps, to draw his opponent's attention into the main mineral line while focusing an attack at the front as well?
I think so. Also, we have to take into account that there are back rocks here in the base. Adepts don't take them down quickly, but the other Protoss units do. But multiple Adepts coming onto the map. Look, this is only just out of vision here.
Very unlucky there for TY. He's still got that SCV, and he's looking around.
Oh, is this perfect scouting here from TY? It does look like he might be able to find this very early. A single bunker at the front too. And oh, wow.
A great pickup for TY, and he knows exactly what he's up against now. What is the appropriate response to this?
Just sit back, get bunkers in your main base, possibly get an engineering bay up too, as it's most likely going to be Oracles. But in fact, thinking now, with those rocks there, this could well be a Void Ray all-in. I haven't seen that in a long time, Apollo.
Well, Legacy of the Void bringing out all the old and new strategies back to the game.
And this bunker is exceptionally vulnerable here. There's no way you can repair that, but it is an Oracle. And only scouting with 1 Adept each time, not just throwing all of his shades out. That's really smart. He wants to keep as much information away from TY as possible.
Well, the Cyclone is the choice of defensive unit coming from TY. And the Cyclone obviously going to be pretty good against an Oracle, for example, can lock onto it, pull back out any type of range from air units to do damage. But he's going to need to get a bunker down at this back, perhaps. He hasn't has he even thought about these rocks being broken?
It doesn't look... Does he even have a depot placed over there? I'm not sure he has the vision. No, he doesn't even have the vision, so that's playing rather ballsy.
All right, well, the gateway's finishing up now. Going to be transformed into warp gates so we can continue to warp in units. Quite a few Marines inside the mineral line.
And that defensive Cyclone again from TY. I've seen very few players use this, but TY uses it in absolutely every matchup. And here, his Marines are actually moving out of position here.
Oh, the Cyclone's popped out, though. Needs to get a lock on, and there it is.
It's locked on. The Cyclone does chase that. Oh, the Oracle does get away.
But this army, units, though, building outside this main base.
And there's no bunker behind this wall, so this bunker will fall very quickly. And what's he going to do now?
Oh, he's got a tank in production as TY needs to hold on to this, otherwise PartinG can start up this best-of-5 series with a map victory. 3 additional Stalkers get warped in.
Oh no, the Adepts also run in there. So even he has to deal with this front line, he has to deal with the back line. Now he has to, in fact, did he use the Adepts? Oh, this whole Marine army is getting absolutely slaughtered here.
2 Oracles get really close to these Marines, and PartinG comes in, and there is hardly anything left here.
Oh, the tank is trapped, the Cyclone's down, and GG is called.
PartinG super aggressive, very easily taking map number 1 away from TY.
Man, we knew PartinG was going to be aggressive, but we didn't realize how aggressive. I have not seen one base aggression done against a guy that I know wants to play defensively in a long time, and he made it look easy.
Wow, great stunt here for the former DreamHack champion. Looking for his first Legacy of the Void championship. And hello, boys.
Hello, Sean.
Good start.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Just one base, brute force.
I did-
TY scouted this.
I just like Ben
didn't
being
matter.
like, oh, haven't seen that in a long time. Like, man, we missed you at NA Ladder. Where,
Yeah, I was about to say.
where all the Protoss players are doing this every game.
They do that every game. I mean,
It's like every other game, man.
like at that early stage of the game, Protoss only got better because of Adepts instead of Zealots being used here, which are much better against SCVs and Marines.
You should have put a bunker behind the barracks, though, right? This is the #1 mistake, surely, Snoop.
I believe so. These adepts deal a lot of bonus damage to light units, so definitely having these Marines in bunkers would be so helpful against this. I think only having one bunker was a massive mistake here.
What about the use of the Cyclone, Nate? Is that even a good choice?
I mean, the Cyclone, I really like it, to be honest, in these scenarios, but a bigger issue was completely foregoing an engineering bay, because what the Cyclones help is picking off those individual units, but when you push in with the Stalkers and the Adepts and the Oracles come in to kill those Marines, like, just having a turret, you have to anchor that defense. You have to, realize your opponent's on one base. Like, there's no reason to cut any corners, in my opinion, in that position.
But when you make an engineering bay, that's quite expensive, and then building the additional missile turret, would it be cheaper to perhaps just make additional bunkers and let the Cyclones deal with the Oracles?
I think foregoing the Cyclone entirely, getting a tank out and then getting a missile turret covering a mineral line would be better. Like the Cyclone, it's 150, 150, and it's decent against everything that PartinG was throwing at him. But having a tank up, and why put the bunker in front?
Yeah, the bunker in front, I think, was the biggest
Like,
question.
he actually scouted what was happening with his SCV too. He knew that PartinG was playing insanely aggressive against him.
He really just needed to survive till he had the tank out. Like, I wouldn't, diss the decision to get the Cyclone, because it really helps with picking off those Oracles from harassing you due to the lock-on. But like, you have to realize that, okay, if you get the tank out, then you actually have something that can push these units away without, taking bonus damage from the Adepts.
I just don't think he respected PartinG's aggression there and how aggressive he didn't even have a depot by the back rocks. So it makes me think, oh, is this like an MKP situation where he just didn't see on the minimap what was happening kind of thing?
I don't know. Next map's going to be Dusk Towers. They are loading in. Gentlemen, take it away.
Thank you very much, Nate and Snoop. Time for game number 2. As down here on Dusk Towers, spawning in is the red Protoss player, playing for Yowie Flash Wolves, it's PartinG. And a great start for him. Very, very good start for him.
A very solid win in game 1, and that sets the pace for the whole series, really. And spawning over in the top side as our blue Terran, it is TY.
The last remaining Terran player in this tournament after taking Bomber. The Terran baton was passed over.
Yes, TY did eliminate Bomber in a very tight 5-game series. But here, after TY suffering a pretty harsh defeat there in game 1, I wonder if he's going to mix it up. But so far, he's just been playing his very methodical style of getting up 3 bases as fast as he can, just being very happy with playing the defender's role.
Indeed. Well, let's see where he's going to go this time.
Is PartinG going to mix it up, though? We saw that he won very easily with a 1-base aggression build, and honestly, lots of Protoss in Heart of the Swarm, they were opting to go for this 3-base style, just playing exceptionally defensive, but PartinG's always been that guy that knew how to kill an opponent with just 1 base, and given that he was one of the only Protossers doing it, it made it so much harder to practice for him.
Well, once again, we see TY. Very fast command center. Likewise from PartinG has gone for a very fast second base of his own, so no aggression to begin this off with.
And TY, he's been going for some pretty old school builds this tournament, and by old school, Legacy of the Void hasn't been out for a long time, but these are Wings of Liberty first day release builds here. 1 rack command center, exceptionally vulnerable against Adepts, given that the only thing you're going to have on the field is Marines. And yeah, it's just a very vulnerable build, I feel.
And now he's decided to take double gas behind this, so a factory is going to be imminent on its way. As Pro tries to get up here to get some scouting information, doesn't really get too much.
What he got from that, though, and wow, unusual bunker placement, and yet again, but this makes sense on this map, and given that he scouted the Expo 2, he knows he's not going to die to any 1-base build straight away. The reason you want the bunker outside, that still covers what comes up to the ramp, but also covers what can possibly walk up the natural, at least in this close vicinity here against Adepts.
Well, the robotics facility is the choice of tech structure for PartinG.
Ooh, I like this. The robotics before, it just meant that the Protoss had to play defensive, unless they're going for some crazy Immortal all-in. But the Disruptor has totally added a massive spin on that. You can play very aggressive with Warp Prism speed and Disruptor drops, and I'd love to see that from PartinG this game.
And I can't believe there's an SCV still inside the main base of PartinG who goes in and is going to get a scout on the robotics facility here. And that's a good pickup. That's a very good pickup for him still to be around. He knows that he doesn't need to think of an Oracle, for example, flying into his main base.
You're totally right. Knowing that there isn't an Oracle, or the danger of an Oracle coming, that's a massive deal. It means that you don't have to have your Marines set in your bases. You don't have to worry about getting turrets up. It's just minerals that you don't have to spend on defense. It means that you can get up a faster third if he does so please. But he's actually not going for that super fast third this game. He's teching right up to a starport ASAP here.
And where do you think he's going to go from this? Is it?
PartinG's,
I mean, there's a lot of ways he could go.
TY's the guy that we really can't predict because he's been really liking those Cyclones here, and I believe he's going for it again with this build.
Correct.
And I've never really seen a Terran go Cyclones before, but he's been going them every game in every matchup, so he obviously knows something I don't. But we did see him against Littlebow. In fact, most of his TvPs against Puck, he opted for this Marine Cyclone push and tried to deal a little bit of damage where he could.
Adept trying to get as much information as possible, as the Observer now will get that information, hopefully, unless it's taken out immediately.
And a fast blink on the way, even getting a Raven here.
Yeah, supported with I mean, he's gone for the third command center very early.
I'm very curious what he's going to do. Ravens did get sort of buffed, sort of nerfed in Legacy of the Void. The turrets now deal a lot more damage, but their spells also last a lot less time. But against Protoss, very curious as to how he's going to be using that.
Well, here's the Observer buff parting. He's finally going to get an answer to what this guy is doing. So he sees the factory, sees the starport, sees the tech lab, sees the third command center, and now knows that there is opportunities to strike and find a weakness in this guy. The Warp Prism is out, but what is he going to use in this? How is he going to use it? 2, 3 Adepts get loaded.
That can be very annoying if it gets into your mineral line. Adepts, 2-shot workers. This Cyclone and the Raven do pick off the Observer, so again, PartinG is in the dark.
He's got tank production on the way with Cloak Banshees, and then additional barracks.
Wow, I have not seen this since I saw Show play. This is a very, very old school style. Banshees do deal a lot of damage if they do get to deal damage, but so many things counter them. So this, having the Raven to snipe obs, this is a pretty weird situation to be in. This Warp Prism is going to fly into the natural here.
And there's not much there at all. There's a lot of SCVs. 4 Adepts are going to bring them down incredibly fast. The Cyclone not close at the moment, and here comes the drop-off.
Oh man, pulling his SCVs away, even if he just gets a few kills here, which he's already got 3, that's more than ample. He's going to get away with the Warp Prism too. The SCV's pulled back too early. And SCVs are dying left, right, and center. And are they just going to pop into the main? Yes, so we gave him the switcheroo there.
And he's got 9 SCVs killed already. He's going for more. He's up to double figures as he's taken down 12. And just a very, very simple move from PartinG has done so much work. There's 38 SCVs to 54 probes.
And he's still dealing damage. I mean, if you ask PartinG, hey, what you really want to deal with this? Oh, well, you know, getting like 6, 7 probes would be great. But here, and he's still denying mining, still killing SCVs. 16 probes.
SCVs. Such a simple move, but such big gains from it. And now TY's got his work cut out for him. There's going to be a couple more Adepts being loaded into the Warp Prism to continue the assault. The Banshee on the other side of the map could deal counter damage if not properly dealt with. Remember, it does have cloak, so it's not visible currently.
This is such a weird move that no Terran does this, but
there's an Observer, double-folded
no!
overcharge. Down goes the Banshee, and in come the Adepts. And PartinG is absolutely destroying this game number 2 here, and is walking all over TY.
This just feels like PartinG knows TY so well, and he got to scout everything earlier with the Observer, and 22 workers have been killed. And if we remember, these Adepts also, never mind dealing economic damage, but they constantly got to scout what was going on in those bases, so
yeah.
PartinG was prepared for everything.
And he's gone up towards Colossus now, PartinG. He's got double Forge down. He's tracking the Banshees around the map. He
my
blinks
lord.
forward. His defense is great. His attacking is brilliant. And his overall strategy is okay, but he's got to be a little bit careful. TY has built up a decent force while all this has been going on. He needs to be careful that he can hold off against any counter type of push. There's tanks, there's Banshees, there's a bunch of Marines.
Yeah, PartinG going for those Colossus here. Again, they're both showing stuff that I haven't really seen before. Colossi did get nerfed, their damage is significantly less, but to counter that, Marauders are also significantly weaker against Protoss, so we're going to see a clash of very old-school armies here.
Well, 1-1 upgrade's about to finish for the Bio. Stim and Combat Shields just around the corner as well, but they're not ready yet.
And this Protoss army is marching out across the map. The Banshee's still being annoying, but PartinG not really suffering too much against this, even as Stalker's warped him back home to deal with it. But he's being very aggressive here, and this is very well synced up with his +1/+1 finishing.
Stim just 10 seconds away.
Oh, man.
A must-have upgrade. Likewise, Combat Shields.
I think TY's in pretty good shape to deal with this, actually. Combat Shield's finishing, Stim's just finished. Warp Prism speed on the way. I think PartinG's just playing scary here. I don't think he plans on committing. And TY, he's taking this very serious.
3 Colossus is, I mean, still a decent amount of damage, even if they are a little bit weaker, as he does poke forward. And here comes the first attack coming out from PartinG. And he sees a lot of this army on the right-hand side, and he's going to move forward. And does TY have an answer? He stims towards the Colossus. They get picked up one by one here. Great control by PartinG. And is he going to be able to take map number 2? He keeps these Colossus alive, picking them up one by one.
The Colossus micro is real, but TY is getting a bit of a surround here, and PartinG's stuck in the corner, but more Stalkers walked in. The Liberator's just trying to deal with those Colossus, and slowly, are they going to get picked off? The Colossus still alive.
And liberation time as the Liberator comes in, but it gets taken down immediately. TY hangs on, but does lose 17 SCVs in this fight.
Man, that was great use of the new Warp Prism, its ability to pick up units at range now, keeping all those Colossi alive for as long as possible, and he took a very efficient trade there. Despite losing his army, TY lost his army as well, but also lost a lot of SCVs.
And he managed to keep one of the Colossus alive. He picked it up in the Warp Prism and has brought it back. 2-2 on the way now for both players. Disruptors coming in, and I can't help but feel PartinG's in a pretty decent spot with a 4th Nexus on the way. Still a great economy after disrupting TY's income. But here, a counter move from TY, but it's been spotted by PartinG.
It has been spotted, and there's a cheeky Liberator getting in the back of the base there. Multiple cannons going down, or pylons going down, but we'll see what this drop can accomplish here.
Disruptor shot comes in, doesn't do too much damage, but Stalkers come, take 1 medivac down, 2 medivacs down, and push this back instantly.
But this Liberator, up to 10 probe kills now. This Liberator is doing a lot of damage, and PartinG still hasn't reacted to it. It's still dealing damage.
And he's got to be careful here on this 4th base. Picks the Colossus up once again. Great defense there.
I tell you what, though, TY's multitasking. He's keeping PartinG busy while that Liberator's dealing insane damage. And now they're at pretty equal worker counts. It looks like TY's actually managed to get a lead here.
15 workers have been killed, and the advantage that PartinG had just a few minutes ago has been called out. It's very similar in income. 2-2 upgrades do favor PartinG, but it's not too far away now for the Terran. And again, a very cool game we're seeing out from both of these players, fighting for a chance to be top 4 in this tournament at the very least.
And that Liberator still in the back of the natural there, not getting picked off, and slowly but surely TY is getting more and more of a lead. He's got a higher worker count, he's taking his 4th very safely. And his army is looking particularly strong, and with the addition of Liberators here, this is what all Protoss fear.
And Terran fear the Disruptor.
The
They are
Disruptor.
starting to come into play. The Templar Archives is down, so we can start to bring in some High Templar, get ready for some Sonic Storm.
A high-level game indeed, and that tank being positioned. Oh, Photon Overcharge does take out a Liberator. Those pylons dealing a lot of damage.
And another push coming out from PartinG.
Is this going to work, though?
Is there enough actual splash damage here? He's got a lot of gateway units.
And we see that PartinG is trying to avoid those liberation zones there. Only 1 Colossi in the mix, and where's his Disruptor? He had a Disruptor earlier.
Yeah, he's going to need to use it. He's got 4 of them, and here they come.
Oh, wow.
Here's 3.
Now this is a dicey situation. There are large clusters of bio here, and if they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, those Disruptors are going to absolutely murder them.
Good spread, though, from TY. There's a couple of shots come in. They take down 1 tank, take down a little bit of bio, but not the best of shots yet from PartinG.
Supplies are so even now. It's so close. There's quite a lot of supply in production. But TY's got a nice concave here.
He's got a great concave, and a Disruptor shot comes down the left-hand side, takes down quite a bit of bio, but is there too much Terran here? This looks like we have way too much bio. Vikings and Liberators, even SCVs come into play. A Liberator shot comes in, deals a pretty decent amount of damage. but this is too much.
Too much TY right here. The Disruptors are going down, 2 very expensive units, and PartinG runs away with only Stalkers remaining.
Killed off 13 SCVs though, but did he do enough damage? I don't think he did. TY has a 30 supply lead in this game. Disruptors were lost, a lot of key and expensive units were lost here for PartinG.
TY is just getting stronger and stronger at this point, even feeling comfortable to deal drops while pushing at the front too with his main army. This is just a very confident TY we're seeing.
Yeah. Even straggling Stalkers being taken down. A Disruptor shot tries to hit this bio, but unfortunately misses as TY pushes forward again. There's a lot of High Templar starting to accrue energy, ready for their storms, which could change the game around again. But TY in such a great position now.
The Storm not yet ready, but this is where TY gets into his comfort zone when he gets to multitask and really show off his assets.
And now both players just slowing down a little bit, rebuilding their army after so many fights and so many trades. They're both weak compared to where they could be, but TY definitely powering up strong. The Ghost Academy coming in to help deal with High Templars and just EMPs in general across this Protoss army.
We're seeing a very scary Protoss army accumulate though. Not only Disruptors for AoE, but High Templars. People often wonder, how do I deal with Liberators? But Liberators tend to stack while they're doing the Liberation Zone, so we'll see how these High Templars do against those too.
PartinG moves into the middle of the map and TY drops. There's kind of an anti-counter thing here. I don't even know, I don't think this was intended as PartinG moves out, but we're gonna have a bit of a trade of positions as TY's army's inside PartinG's base. PartinG attacks on the other side of the map.
Oh no, look at all this bio though. This is a lot of TY, but now he sees Storm, now he sees the Disruptors. The Disruptors get pretty decent hits, but not really enough. Now the Liberation Zone's there. Doesn't want to walk in those High Templars, and he does avoid them.
But who's going to come out on top of all of this?
This looks very healthy for the Terran. He's going to start working on the production here too, dealing significant damage, sending some of his army home too to help out, but with Disruptors for defense.
And look at these Liberators just holding off these positions. It's almost impossible, if not it is impossible for Protoss to attack into them. They deal so much damage, and as you can see, it's not a very big
Widowmine! Oh, so many High Templars go down. That's a good 4 High Templars dying to that Widowmine. Disruptors dealing damage to those SVs. That was a nice way of dealing with them, but now this is looking very, very bad for PartinG.
And here comes the rest of TY's army to take the fight. Storms are available. 2, 3, 4 Storms go down, dealing a lot of damage here, but it's just too much. There's too many Marauders, there's too many Marines. They're healed back up by these Medivacs, and at the same time, he is shredding what is left over of PartinG's main.
And this is such great multitasking from TY, managing to hold on while still dealing with this base. High Templars having to turn into Archons to save their lives. Still pushing across. Nice micro by PartinG though, managing to snipe those Vikings.
But it is only Stalkers left to fight, left to hold off for PartinG. A couple of Archons come in, but they get killed off instantly. And TY, after losing game number 1 so incredibly fast, is looking for the bounce back, is looking to take game number 2. And if he destroys his Nexus, there will be no income left for PartinG. He steps forward, he's going to take the fight. GG, TY ties the series up after an excellent display. A back and forth, action-packed game.
And to say what happened in that game with the Adepts dealing damage as good as they did, 16 SCVs went down to those 4 Adepts. I'm super surprised and astonished by how well TY managed to establish himself and just play his own game.
2 contenders for the championship trophy today. Playing from the lower bracket, they have a lot of work still left to do, but good display from both. And I think this is building up and shaping up to be one of the series we're going to remember at this tournament.
It certainly is. Both their strengths really shining through. PartinG, shamelessly aggressive, but very well thought out. Kind of results in the Colossus micro.
Yeah.
The fact that he managed to make that fight somewhat even, I'm totally amazed, because he got into that nook where it looked like, oh no, you're totally surrounded here, but keeping them all alive with a new Warp Prism ability too. And here, Liberation Zones.
Yeah, this is the weird moment that happened where both attacked each other at the same time, and TY was able to come out on top. But look how much resistance there is from the Terran where there isn't from the Protoss in the Protoss base.
Yeah, I mean, these Disruptors tried to do what they could, but TY is just on point here with his splitting, totally delaying the attack. And while all this was going on, this was a very, very hardcore drop. And that Widowmine hit at the end there, that really sealed the deal.
Taking down 4 High Templar, if not more, and 4 energy as well.
Totally, and those high tempos, they were necessary, they were needed. TY was already ahead, and when you suffer a blow like that, that's 600 gas down the drain in the blink of an eye.
So impressed by TY's performance here and able to turn from what looked like a bit of a disappointing start around.
I'm impressed by both of them, but yeah, TY suffered a really fatal blow in the first game, but that second game, despite having those adepts, really caused a lot of damage. Most Terrans would go on tilt, or maybe they'd lose at that point in time, but TY just composed himself, got back into it, and attack and attack. Kept losing SCVs, but still managed to stay in the game.
Now we're currently with only 6 players remaining. After this series, only 5. 1 is out of the tournament. 1 gets to fight for the championship as we get ready for game number 3.
There, PartinG looking very, very cool and calculated, very serious too. And speaking of the man spawning in the top left of Prime Terraces, it is PartinG.
And then down here, his opponent. Spawning in as the blue Terran player, it's TY from KT Rolster, one of the most successful Korean esports teams of all time.
Also comes from a famous Brood War team, We Made Fox, where he's also known as Baby, playing from the age of 12 or so. So he's been in the pro gamer scene for an absolute eternity. Our next match on this main stream is going to be Showtime versus Nurtio. Battle of 2 of the best foreigners.
Absolutely. The winner of these 2 games will go up against each other a little bit later on here today. But build starting to take shape. We have the gateway into the pretty fast Nexus from PartinG, where we have a barracks and gas taken here by TY with an early SCV scout.
And he's going Reaper this game, not opting for his normal shenanigans where he just makes Marines and plays very defensive. This Reaper build means he'll get to scout and possibly deal damage if he can. But seeing that his opponent's gone for an early Nexus here, that definitely makes TY feel a little more comfortable. He can put the CC on the low ground. He knows he's not going to get all in by anything crazy early on.
Do you expect, I mean, TY throughout this tournament has played styles that he doesn't really change away from. He always seems to be liking 3 command centers, a defensive style, where as long as he can stop a lot of attacks in the early game, he builds up and then hits strong later on. Are you expecting him to stick to that throughout this series as well?
Yeah, he's very happy with being the punching bag early on and then turns into the puncher later. Like, that seems to definitely be his way of playing. And do I see him changing it up? So far, not at all. I mean, it's been working for him when he gets to that late stage comfort zone. Like, he truly is a macro monster, and seeing his opponent expoing and playing into his hands almost, I think TY's going to be smiling right now.
Well, the robotics facility is the choice again, and why not? Look at the last game. Go for a robotics facility, build a few adepts, put them in a warp prism, and kill 22 SCVs. I think that's rather successful, if you don't mind me saying.
Certainly not bad. I wouldn't frown upon it either. The Reaper and the Adept kind of dancing in the middle, but no way can a Reaper really deal with an Adept. Has too much health and deals way too much damage to light units. So the Reaper's just going to run away, try and scout later on.
Look, I'm looking at the minimap. He scanned his natural.
Oh, no.
No.
That's
something only Nathanius would do. But TY has done it on the biggest stage.
That was definitely pulling a Nathanius there. So Nerves definitely pulling or showing here. I mean,
like, for anyone that doesn't know, that obviously was meant to be a mule being called down onto there. Unfortunately, a big slip up.
But he did it right bang on his CC, so it wasn't as if he was even clicking on the minerals there with the scan.
Just
unfortunate there. Quite a mistake. But definitely a blunder. He misses out on quite a few extra minerals that you should have with that.
All right, well, we have the robotics facility finished up. The Twilight Council was straight behind it, and now Blink is being researched very early on. This can be used defensively, it can be used aggressively, but why would you go aggressive? I mean, why would you go defensive with that Blink, knowing that your opponent is always going to be wanting you to play a defensive game? So we've got to be expecting this to be aggressive usage.
We have to. Playing defensive against a player that you know 99.9% of the time is going for that fast third C and is happy playing defensively, you don't let him get away with that, or you take really big shortcuts. And right now, it feels like PartinG, he needs to do something with this blink. You can't just sit back and let your opponent. And here he's going to scout that third CC.
And now it's confirmed, if you didn't know already, once again, TY sitting back defensively, powering up for the later stages of this game. Now, what is going to be the reaction coming out from PartinG? What do you do? Do you throw down a lot of gateways? Do you go double forwards? You cut some corners?
This is one of those maps where your third and your fourth are gold bases. So if your Terran opponent does take that gold before you, you're in deep doo-doo. So as a Protoss, you can definitely pile on aggression here and take a third and try and contain your opponent, because anytime you buy, you're mining off a gold when your opponent isn't.
Well, the third Nexus has been put down. The robotics bay has been added on. So you can go towards Colossus and Disruptors. And for the time being, you've got to be enjoying TY's position. PartinG hasn't been greedy. PartinG hasn't been aggressive. Middle of the road builds. So far, so good for TY.
So far, very good for TY. He's been left to do what he wants to do, and right now he's got a supply lead. He's going to have his third up faster than his opponent. Worker-wise as well, 48 probes to 48 SCVs, and he has mules. I'm really liking TY's situation here, and I'm really puzzled by the fact that PartinG's allowing this to happen.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to read into what PartinG's plan exactly is.
Because, yeah, with the blink very early on, there always has to be some sort of idea behind what you're doing.
Could it be an attack, perhaps planned to strike before these key upgrades are completed, the 1-1 and the stim? That's the only weakness right now TY would potentially have. But once they complete, we're going to see a very powerful Terran.
While they are certainly weaknesses, he's got other strengths here. He's got a really fast third, and he can pile out units incredibly fast. And PartinG, I feel he's just got wrapped into the world of TY here, playing TY's game against TY. That doesn't feel like a smart move.
Well, PartinG's moving into the middle with a small squad of units.
And what can this army really do against tanks as well? It's the tanks that are worrisome.
And PartinG does have a good vision on this army. He's got an observer just above it. A turret is being constructed, so it will have to move shortly or be destroyed. But can he really attack into this?
I don't believe he can. And upon getting tanked and having a Cyclone there, nice aggressive blink, but loses a unit to that Cyclone.
Yeah, loses a sentry of all things here.
Ooh.
A lot of Adepts jump forward. Are they actually going to be going anywhere here?
They shouldn't. This would be suicidal, though. For a second there, I really thought he was going to go for it. But that Warp Prism coming out, extra Colossi on the field, Thermal Lance being upgraded. This Cyclone's still being a pest.
He's grabbed another sentry there, and he keeps the Cyclone alive.
Wow, very nifty micro.
2 sentries for nothing here. The Cyclone's obviously taking damage, but, well, he scans, he sees this army outside. He's added on a lot of supply depots to help protect this area. But look, Combat Shields is finishing. Stim is finishing. 1-1 has completed for this Terran army. PartinG isn't able to do anything at this point. He's using the Warp Prism to try to circumvent this army. It looks weak inside the main base, but no, there's a bunker with Marines in. It's not going to be long to get units back to defend.
I was just thinking how much I liked the Warp Prism play, but that bunker is even better. He's predicted this. He knows his weaknesses. But PartinG still finds a way of dealing damage, and that is a large Warp Prism, and only Marines here to deal with this.
Yeah, 6 additional Adepts get warped in, and we're going to get a lot of damage dealt here by the looks of it.
Oh dear, and they're going to start going absolutely everywhere here. But going into the natural, he kind of ran into the army, but meets up with a group of Adepts from the front as well here.
And 8 SCVs have been killed, morale going down. Finally, PartinG finds a way in to get some damage done.
And maybe this was PartinG's plan all along, and he's still dealing damage here, but TY still ahead in supply, and amongst the madness, TY manages to launch a counterattack here.
I don't even know how these medevacs escaped, to be honest, but they've found themselves on this fourth base, dealing a lot of damage to these Stalkers. They do pick up.
Oh, that medevac almost died there. That would have been a really clean snipe by PartinG, but after all these engagements, TY's got a significant supply lead.
And these medevacs are stuck now in between these 2 bases.
They're stuck, but he gets to keep tabs on where the army is, and whenever your opponent's defending, that's a great position to be in as a Terran that's playing like TY is playing. But I have to give credit where credit's due. TY, upon under all that pressure, managing to deal a drop as well.
Yeah.
That's madness.
And TY has a 20 supply lead. He knows about this other base that's been taken, and he's feeling confident. He's got a lot of army. He's starting to push out from his defensive position that he's held for the last 9 minutes in this game. He's taken a 4th base. He's moving forward.
One poor Joe did run ahead, but he did get to scout the army. That medevac did fall, kind of suicided over there. But what we're going to see from TY this game, Widow Mines combined with Liberators. This is going to be truly positional play from him, and engaging an army with Widow Mines is already tough, but with the addition of Liberators, wow.
PartinG looking to strike inside the main base.
Vikings.
The mineral line once again, but this is going to get pushed back. There's a lot of bio here, and he stims forward, and this should hardly do anything. A big warp into a big commitment.
A huge commitment. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just try and focus down the warp prism there, as that will live to see another day, and these Adepts still causing havoc. So hard to deal with.
Yeah, and he's got to the second mineral line, continues doing damage. He's got 6 SCVs killed.
And probes are dying somewhere else on the map too. So again, TY managing to get damage done despite being under pressure. 9 SCVs dying though. Kind of a serious attack there, and that Natural's left in tatters. But Liberators still finding a way to deal damage. Little skirmishes in the middle of the map.
TY just loading up units left and right, looking for counter damage, not to just take the punches. Throughout all of this game, he's got a good supply lead. He's being chased down by Stalkers. He's going to get one medevac, the second one as well. Great catch there by PartinG. That's a lot of units that TY just lost, and his supply dropped immediately.
That's a massive pick-off. That's something that PartinG needed, and now the supplies look much, much closer. Disruptors joining the field as well. This Protoss army is getting really scary now.
And it's going to be a fight between these two that comes down to one engagement from both armies, and which one's going to come out on top? This bio is weak. He's lost a lot of medivacs through harassing all the time. There's a ton of Colossus, and as you said, with Disruptors coming in, that's going to be a nuisance to deal with as well.
I was questioning the choice of Vikings, but he needs those Colossi. Despite being nerfed, they're still an extremely strong unit.
And PartinG poking forward here, just takes down one tank, then backs off.
Oh, that was great by PartinG. He baited out a whole stim from that army there, and there aren't really enough medivacs to heal it back up, so every stim...
Another medivac goes down. PartinG starting to solidify his mid-game at this point. Good defense overall, good positioning of units and observers around the map to spot these drops incoming. But the big question mark comes around now to PartinG. How is he going to deal with the Liberator count? Because this is starting to rise, and we know how good they are.
That is the question. How's he going to deal with those Liberators? Well, he's dealing with the Vikings tremendously, and now it's just mainly a bio army here, which with Disruptors on the field, Colossi on the field, that's not such a scary army, but it's, yes, you're right, these Liberators he has to deal with.
3 medivacs have been loaded up. I think that PartinG controls the north Zalnaga tower, so he's going to see these 3 medivacs. He has an Adept on that position.
So nice by PartinG having units everywhere, and here he's trying to get damage, and he really wants to attack into this, but doesn't like TY's just not making it easy, and with this drop, ready to attack.
PartinG back, it's brought PartinG back not to take damage versus it.
Certainly bought him quite a bit of time here. In time, with more Liberators joining that supply cap there, just really, really good for TY, but the supplies are so close.
Yeah, PartinG moving north with his entire of his army. Small amounts from TY still here, but the majority of it seems to be moving south, according to the min-map. Dark Templar or Dark Shrine is on its way for Dark Templar. Good upgrades now finally kicking in for PartinG with +3 armor, fully upgraded when it comes to armor, and +2 attack on the way.
Now, when you think of hot Protoss and you think, oh man, Colossi and Storm's difficult to deal with, well, this is Colossi, Storm, and Disruptors soon on the field. It's going to be very, very tough. But again, TY just buying time here. 2 drop squads. This is very Polt-esque. Micro around with 2 armies on the map while expanding.
And PartinG's equal to it. He's got a lot of units to deal with both sides. Blinks forward, realizing this is a bit of a weak squadron. Takes down a couple of Marauders at the back of Marino 2 as well.
Every time TY is meeting PartinG's army, though, he's doing something else on the map. But PartinG, he's actually matching TY. He is defending ever so well.
He is, and a stim forward towards this gold base that's been mined from a long time ago. And again, a Warp Prism, a back and forth action-packed game again between these 2 players.
Oh, look at these turrets. This is very nice. But the Warp Prism finds a way in and it stays alive, at least for now, but does get picked apart there. This bunker still being quite a beast. And TY, there's action all over the map here. He's even got an army in the north moving in.
Ton of harassment, but also a ton of blocks and counters to the harassment from both sides. None of them really finding critical damage. But look at this, we see finally a big chunk of the Terran army moving north Liberators getting in position, going into defender mode, or as we like to call it, liberation time, as they get sieged up.
And this, how does the Protoss engage now? There's a small gap at the top that he can kind of try to wrap around there to fight this army, but he's going to have to fight in the Liberators.
Yeah, Disruptors missed their hit. Stalker's getting one Liberator down, the second one going to be taken down as well. While all this is happening, there is a drop inside the main base as well as TY split up his units, but the Liberators are out of position. One another gets taken down. The rest of the army stims back.
Oh, nice scan from TY. So despite fighting here, still looking at his army, seeing that it's getting killed by DTs and does warp in. But PartinG playing exceptionally aggressive here.
He has Disruptors ready to lock and load it to throw their balls at this army.
Yeah, the Disruptors here, these are tight gaps too for the Terran to fight through.
Here we go, a couple of EMPs come down though. Counter EMPs from TY. Keep PartinG back.
And this drop in the back still dealing damage. It actually kills the Dark Shrine too, so can't deal Dark Shrine damage or DT damage around the map. And that Autosis pylon depowering 3 gateways there.
And PartinG can't break through. He's had to come back. He needs to turn his structures back online, deal with these drops. TY moving forward to take another expansion. Again, we're seeing the difference between Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void really shining through. This is an excellent game. A battle to get the lead in this best of 5, to look to move another round forward at this DreamHack Legacy of the Void Championship.
And so many of the bases now mining out. They mine out much faster in Legacy of the Void. So these players, despite fighting, despite looking like they have 5 bases each, they need to start taking more bases. And the bases that you can take, they're really hard to keep because they're so far away from your main base.
Push it forward here, a couple of really big MPs. They back off.
The Disruptor balls try to catch them, but Ghosts are much, much faster now also.
Yeah, High Templar though coming in these. So a very powerful mixed up army that Protoss has. Dark Templar in there, High Templar there, Disruptors, Colossus.
I love the fact that he keeps using Liberators to try and harass and puts them in awkward positions here, just denying mining for as long as possible. It really is a game of who can get more minerals now, who can get more resources, because right now they're both running pretty low and both around the cap point, but that's quite a few Stalkers in the wrong place at the wrong time.
A strategic battle between the both of them. One mistake could cost this game. One bad fight and this is going to end. They have to be so gentle, so delicate with their army movement at all times. And
one wrong committal here and they're dead.
They're very hesitant to take that one big fight too, always worried if it's not going to go well. But look at this Protoss army, it is looking deadly.
It's a definite,
there is
definite
6
Disruptors
Disruptors here. Also backed up by a bunch of High Templars, 3 there at the back.
Oh, it's going to be so hard to deal with. And TY, he's got the right mix here. He's got Ghosts, Liberators, he's got everything that you want in a Dream Terran army. But still, this Protoss squad, very hard to deal with.
Trying to hold the Protoss back from attacking up there. He keeps them away again. But TY, upon realizing that PartinG's army is kind of far out the way, it's on the right-hand side. He moves through the middle.
I tell you what, though, I love how TY is dealing with this. Just uses the liberation zones to, again, buy time.
Yeah.
Like, you shall not pass, quite literally.
And he's unlocked 2 of these bases. This is a pretty big move from TY. He's going to take down 1 at least, you'd imagine. And still, so far away is his Protoss army. He takes down 1 Nexus. He's going to get another one as well.
Oh, look at this. He's just sectioning off this land here to pass. He has to go into the Liberators, but the Liberators are kind of left alone here.
And here comes the Terran army back to help deal with it. Who's going to come out on top here? It looks like the Protoss army's powering through. Disruptables break through the middle. And are we going to have a big lead here for PartinG? Because this is looking like it. He breaks the Liberation Zone, and despite TY taking 2 Nexus down, taking a good amount of income away from PartinG, did that cost him the game? Because did he lose too much of his army in that position and in that move that he cannot take a direct fight anymore?
TY currently running back, trying to build up an army again, and he's the one with mining bases around right now. Even doing a counter drop, there's only 1 mining base left for PartinG. These Liberators dealing a lot of damage here. He's using them so well.
Oh, he takes down 1 of the Disruptors, a couple more to stim forward. Another drop on the other side of the map from TY as he gets into another Nexus position. And now PartinG behind in supply of all surprises. He's behind, he's gonna lose another Nexus, and TY ripping him apart while still staying solid on the other side.
And PartinG doesn't really have what he needs to deal with this. Yes, he's got High Templars back here, morphing them into Archons, otherwise they're gonna die. And TY, he's sitting pretty. He's still got lots of mining bases down the right side of the map.
And TY moving forward now. He's got Liberators a little bit too far forward. He's got to be careful. He does move them back just in time not to lose them. And what a game this is between these two titans
Look
of
at that.
StarCraft players.
The difference in mining now between these two players. PartinG's army, it's not really going to change.
Not really mining at this point anymore. He's trying to get another Nexus up on the left-hand side, and this is the only way he can bring more money to be able to increase his army value.
And TY still playing incredibly patient here, just doesn't want to take a bad fight because it's definitely not over if a few of those disruptors hit absolutely everything, but
yeah.
Is TY going to let him?
Well, TY backs off for a second. He's going to zone out this area. He's going to give up this position by the looks of it just to secure the north where he is mining off 2 great bases.
Such patient play from TY here. And Riley, great EMPs. And even using the new snipe here on those high Templars, taking them all down.
All of them down. And now TY feeling confident now that there isn't any high Templar to storm, but he does dodge the disruptor balls once again. Great
the disruptor! It killed absolutely everything. Is PartinG doing this?
It looks like that was a great hit, and there's still 3 Colossus left. Disruptors charging up once again. And PartinG smells weakness. He blinks forward. Can TY hold on? PartinG gets pushed back again, though. This is incredibly tight, incredibly close. Even SCV's coming off the line. Disruptors going again, and TY dodges him. Who's going to come out on top? It's so close.
They're both in tatters here, and is PartinG going to win this fight? He's still not mining with this. I believe his Nexus is only just finishing. TY still mining, still has a lot of minerals to spend, but holy cow, those disruptor shots.
Disruptor's still alive, and those are the units that have allowed PartinG to somehow find a way. But remember, TY is mining so much more than PartinG, so he's able to rebuild faster. Look in the production tab down there. 10 Marines, 3 Medivacs, nothing right now for PartinG, and TY cutting off resources again through that Liberator. He's mining another base in the middle, and slowly but surely, TY is building up a new army that PartinG cannot do himself.
And look at this, just using Liberators to deny the only mining that PartinG has. And TY still has multiple bases. He has 50 workers against just the 19 of his opponent here. What a great game between the two, but it does look like TY is starting to really edge ahead.
It's just resources at this point, which is the deciding and dividing factor between the both of them. A couple of disruptors are going to go in.
Some great disruptor shots here, but that one did miss, did die before the bomb actually happened.
Has too much. GG, and what a game between these two players. TY, after 22 minutes of back and forth action, comes out on top and takes a lead in this best of 5 series, and no matter what PartinG did, no matter what he tried, he could not break this guy.
That was amazing play by TY, but that last fight was so incredibly close. For the last 5 minutes there, I was starting to see TY just be unable to lose, but that one disruptor shot that killed a good 40 supply single-handedly, and a really good supply too. It was a lot of ghosts in that shot.
A lot of ghosts, and what a game. I mean, I'm still blown away with what we've seen, and I know we were all expecting some great StarCraft action today, but that was one to remember. But this series is not over yet. It's a best of 5. PartinG still has the chance to make a recovery, but it is the last remaining Terran in this tournament who's playing brilliant. He didn't have the best of day on day 1. He went through group stages with 3 wins, 2 losses, looked vulnerable, but here's a couple of clips. I think this is one of the big fights towards the end here to Muslin.
Look at the supply difference here. It's 120 supply against 160. First disruptor shots missed, but he used that time. And look at this disruptor shot. That is huge. I have never seen so much Terran exploding in my life.
And at this moment, PartinG was like, I've got it, and then started to push forward. But then out of nowhere, the south position came in. More Liberators, more Marines and Marauders. He's fighting into a planetary fortress as well, and couldn't break this position.
And look how active he is with pulling SCVs from absolutely everywhere. He used everything to hold this back. He really knew this was a do or die situation. And PartinG, while he's left with nothing, TY was too, but TY still had economy.
Yeah, he had money coming in, and that was the difference. And you know, you can think back another 5 minutes before that, the drops, the zoning, the cutting off of the double nexus on the left-hand side, that really cut the resources away from PartinG to keep up with what TY was doing. And an excellent game there, really one to remember, as I keep on saying.
Yeah, and I was wondering why TY was playing so patiently. Even when I thought he was kind of ahead, I was kind of wondering, or most Terrans would kind of attack and just hope to deal something. He was only using individual drops to try and deal economic damage around the map, maybe killing a base here and there. But that last fight really showed me why he was playing so patiently. And you have to respect the Protoss army.
Two real contenders here in the lower bracket for the championship trophy here today. We will crown the first Legacy of the Void champion this evening. Who will it be? Will it be one of these two players is up here to the north of Orbital Shipyard for game number 4 as the red Protoss player is PartinG.
And spawning over in the bottom side as our blue Terran, coming all the way from Korea, it is TY. Absolutely phenomenal play from TY that game. I loved how he just kept the Liberators, or kept the Protoss at bay with his Liberators, zoning them out every time. And with the combination of having a planetary fortress there to soak up the hits if the Blink Stalkers do blink forward, he'd be not only under Liberation Zones, but under the planetary fortress fire too. So very, very nice patient play from him. And PartinG, he's been aggressive, but the first game, he made that look really easy, and since then he's opted to play macro. So I wonder if he's going to start mixing it up here.
TY looks like he could be mixing it up. He's sent an SCV to a very weird position. It is not normal to send an SCV up here because you're not going to find the Protoss base up here. He is waiting till he has 100 gas in the bank and is going to be placing down, by the looks of it, a factory at the north side of things.
And what a time to do something like this. He's 2-1 up in the series. He's feeling confident. Maybe he wasn't feeling confident going into the series, as it is PartinG. I imagine if you've played PartinG enough in the history of StarCraft 2, given that PartinG had roughly like a 95% win rate against Terran, it probably didn't go well. So the fact that he's got an edge, now he's deciding to mixing up, I love that from TY.
Grade complete.
Gets to scout him though, gets to see the double gas on the way. Yes. Upon not seeing a Nexus here, that's going to make you worry though.
Yeah, and what is he worrying about? What could possibly be happening? He's looking around with his SCV, will see the Nexus go down, or at least he's expecting to see the Nexus go down. A starport has been added on. Widow Mines are the choice from TY.
Whenever you see an opponent not make a Nexus very early, and you're going for a proxy like this, I've done this enough times, I'm always worried about an Oracle. Half your production, in fact more than half your production at this point in time, is on the map, and the only thing that you have to defend against those Oracles could potentially be a proxy Stargate.
This is
Marines.
This is so big, the way that this is shaping up. PartinG could almost instantly lose this. He's got a robotics facility which would grant him detection once it's out, but he's going to poke forward here with this Adept, but he won't really get any information from this. For all he knows, there's a command center at the back there, and this is looking identical to what TY's done. He's masked his build well.
Oh, we've seen this before, Apollo. This is a pylon rush, but are these pylons going down too early here? Can't run that far forward, especially when the Adept's there. Even though it's only one, he deals with Marines like Wano, and this is quite a scary push coming, but PartinG hasn't yet identified the fact that, hey, my opponent has a factory on the map, along with a starport here.
Well, we are going to see overcharge on these pylons to start to break this wall down. But the Medivac is out, the Widow Mines are ready.
And there's no observer on the map just yet. And even if there was, would he have expected this?
He sees, he pulls his units back, but we got to have a big hit from that one Widow Mine. It gets 3 workers, the observer's on its way.
So far, so good. He didn't take too much damage from that observer. Now he's got a way into the base. This is where Adepts can reign supreme, but look at supply. TY's ahead, 47 supply, and doesn't have a risky expo to defend either. He's playing this out very well.
Oh, the observer's out, and these Widow Mines are being dealt with. And PartinG continues to mine successfully from that main base. And he has broken this front ramp.
I mean, it's always an awkward position when your Protoss has pylons down your ramp and you know you can't really break into him. Oh, running into this with SCVs, I feel that's a bit too ambitious there. A Liberator? Where on earth did this come from? But gonna get that Liberation Zone down there, and a Widow Mine as well.
A Stalker's come outside of its range and is dealing damage.
Damage being done, the Widow Mine gets cleaned up, the Liberator also looking like it's going to get away after dealing damage, but any mining time lost from your opponent here, TY's going to be sitting pretty.
And he's continuing to build Liberators on the other side of the map. Another Widow Mine is being used. He's trying to deal with this harassment inside his main base as well. The Mothership Core still waiting with these pylons, keeping the majority of other units inside that main.
What an awkward position to be in from both of these players.
Here we go, second Liberator ready. Widow Mine still in this medivap. TY looking to close this up, looking to move to the top 4 of this tournament.
For for some reason in my head, I'm playing out this scenario where he gets a Widow Mine planted and has both the Liberators defending against it, and I don't see how he's going to be able to stop this. This Widow Mine actually separates both the bases here, so no mining can go on, and even if he did want to stop the mining over there with the Liberator, how would the Stalkers get to it?
Third Liberator.
Nice. Oh, the Observer does fall to the Widow Mine. Great scan there. And now, he actually has enough Stalkers to defend against these Liberators for now, but...
A tank is also being made from the factory. He's continuing to invest into this.
This is the craziest 1-1-1 I've ever seen.
More barracks inside to main base. The Muslim continuing to power up.
Oh, these Widow Mines, though. Is it going to get burrowed? Does look like it is, and there isn't an Observer very close, but great splits by PartinG. Both the Widow Mines are now going to get taken out. Oh, in fact, one's just crawling away right there.
All right, tank number 2.
So, do you think he's using these tanks to go clear up the pylons outside his base?
I'm not sure. I don't think he's too worried about this. I think he's like, all right, well, you know, if I do ever expand, I'll just expand to the bottom left. I think he's building up an attack, a frontal attack.
It's so many barracks, so much production off one base here. Eventually he's going to want to break out, but running against those pylons with just Marines and the overcharge, it does get quite dicey. Whoa, these Adepts are committing, but the Shade cooldown is roughly 11 seconds, so bang, he's back in there. Is he actually going to get damage done here? There's a lot of Adepts mounting up. A few Marines picked off here and there. Nice pickup.
And now TY looks like he is going to break out, or try to break out. He's taking a lot of damage to the Marines, and of course the Marines are meant to be used as an assault shortly with the rest of the units on the other side of the map, but he has been worn down a little bit. These Adepts buying a lot of time for PartinG to build up on the other side of the map, but he is going to start to lose some of these.
For a long time in this game, I was really feeling TY's position, but I just look at the supply, and PartinG's managing to creep up now, and it's going to take a long time for these Marines to get across the map, and given that he can kind of tell, hey, you didn't have an Expo there, I just scattered it with the Adepts, he knows this is a one base all in. Get him to see it's going to be Liberators tanks, he can start to mount up an army to deal with it.
And the Robotics Bay needs time to get that out. If he goes towards, you'd imagine, Disruptors.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Mothership Core in the wrong place at the wrong time. And is he actually going to recall in time? Does look like it.
All right, and now we have this push. TY has access to move from his main base, and he's going to start to put the pressure onto PartinG. Does PartinG have enough units in time? There's 3 tanks, 3 Liberators, a bunch of Marines.
The Widow Mine still being annoying there, but dealing with 3 tanks here, this is a really, really solid number. And the fact that you can kind of creep them ahead in siege mode here, I'm really worried for PartinG here. Oh, this game's so back and forth.
He needs more time. The Robotics Bay just about finished up.
Oh, the Warp Prism, and it doesn't have the speed upgrade. This Liberator, I'm very surprised he doesn't keep the Liberators chasing that.
Well, pushing up this ramp now. 2 tanks in the medevacs waiting to drop down to do damage. 2 pylons trying to finish up to help protect and hold on to this position for now. Disruptor number 1 is on the way. Tanks taking down these. And remember that Warp Prism escape, so that is a threat on the other side of the map for sure. But this push continues up this ramp.
How do you engage this as PartinG? If you walk to try and kill the tanks, you're in the liberation zones. If you walk to kill the Liberators, you're in the tank zones. This is great play, but he's buying so much time by just producing pylons, and his economy is far superior here. That Disruptor, though, in the production tab.
Yeah, and now the Warp Prism inside the mineral line of TY.
I am so excited.
If he hits these Marines, here we go. He's going to send it through, and he gets a big shot down onto the Marines there. Good defense from the start here for PartinG. He's got a second Disruptor on the way. He's forced to lift up inside the main base. PartinG with his tournament life on the line. The SCVs have gone.
Oh, man. He is totally all in with this. SCV is being pulled. This is very reminiscent of Nama back in his glory days, but a large number of tanks. The Stalker's under fire. That Disruptor needs to get busy sometime soon.
Disruptor is going to be the key unit here. If he gets a couple of big hits, the second one pops out. Where is it going? It's under tank fire.
Tank fire, liberation zones everywhere. These tanks he loses it. Is he going to pick up the tanks? Dodge the Disruptor shot with the medevacs. This is sick play from TY.
I can't believe he lost that Disruptor. PartinG is under pressure. He's losing units left and right, and TY is getting a lot of momentum. And he's going to continue to push forward.
And TY's army is not getting any bigger from this point in time. He is not mining at all, so it's do or die with this despite so many good trades here. He really needs to make this happen.
And he continues to push forward. He's in range of the robotics facility. A second Disruptor comes out. It's under fire. Just shields will need to regenerate.
Oh man, these tanks are getting to work here. TY's microing so well. The Marines also on the right side has to make sure his army doesn't cluster.
Oh, the
one
Adepts.
tank does fall.
Yeah, great pick up there with the Adepts. They get one tank on the low ground. When is PartinG going to make his move?
Oh, this is great. He's dropping the Adepts on the SCVs just to kill out the SCVs here. I don't believe the command center has died yet. In fact, is that the command center floating over here?
Yes, it is. It's coming to fight as well.
I
Two
think-
disruptors out, a third one almost ready. I imagine when this third disruptor's out, he's got to go for it. Here it is. It's out.
The sad thing is he can always dodge with the medevacs if his micro is on point. I think TY is actually going to start mining from PartinG's third here with his orbital command, so this game got insanely crazy. Whoa, investing with these Marines against the Photon Overcharge though?
Yeah, it moves outside the range of it. Probes are going to come off. No, they're not.
Oh, this is smart. He's denying mining at that base, and here...
robotics facility's gone now, so it's these three disruptors. He's mining somehow.
He's finding a way, TY.
All right, the Warp Prism. This is how he's going to address it. The Warp Prism's coming down from the Marines.
Oh no, the Disruptors, they're going to be dropped, and these Marines, they are not long for this world. The Disruptors shot.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, so much blood, so much chaos.
And now PartinG has a supply lead, but he's got to find a way to deal with these tanks and, of course, the Liberators. Another Disruptor shot goes up, but he loses a Disruptor. He's down to only 2.
Oh, and this army of PartinG, it's so red, it's so cornered in the back of the base.
The Stalkers are stuck at the north.
Look how they're both using their dropship micro here. This is insane play from both of them.
It's so close, down to the wire.
He's retreating. He's giving PartinG time.
Well, he's giving PartinG space.
Oh, these Liberators, though, these are being very well placed here. I'm kind of worried about the right side there.
Oh, 2 Adepts.
Uh-oh,
Two
uh-oh.
Zealots even going for the tank, gets picked up.
Oh, this micro from both of them is insane. Very evenly matched in this game.
Here's Stalkers and Disruptors on the right-hand side. How is he going to make a movement here? He's got to be careful. He throws
the
2
Disruptor.
balls.
Oh, just dodge them with the Medevacs. And the Mothership Core's actually going to fall here, it looks like it.
And the tanks are getting some really good damage down. He actually loses one. Oh, the Medevac, he gets him down. Oh, PartinG, that's a big, big pickup for him. And a Liberator as well. This is turned around. All of a sudden, the 3 additional Stalkers get warped in. And now there is so little left here for TY. He's got a tank and a Liberator. And PartinG controlling with his tournament life on the line here. Lose this, you are out. You are eliminated. Top 6.
TY's army is no longer scary. And PartinG is still growing at a phenomenal rate. And if he just has his Stalkers at the top here, he can deny mining. So the only thing keeping TY in this game is this tank right now. A second tank does join the fray.
And we're going to see a drop onto something here, this Warp Prism.
Gets the Observer down.
4 Adepts in it.
There are more Marines on the field, but we've seen how easily the Disruptor deals with that.
Marines coming for the chase, but they don't fancy it. 2 Disruptor balls looking perhaps to get the winning shot here for PartinG to 100% secure this game. He pokes forward, takes a little bit too much damage.
This is so intense right now. PartinG can't really leave his base, but neither can TY. And TY's new base is actually basically PartinG's base at this point in time. And creeping ahead.
More and more Marines are being built. The Dark Shrine is on its way for PartinG, which could seal the deal here in game number 4.
Oh, this Warp Prism barely has any health here. The Adepts committing to this fight, getting killed off. What are the tanks doing? The tanks still pushing that army back. TY's managing to stay in this somehow, and PartinG's managing to stay. This is insane, micro.
The Dark Shrine, though, there's only 1 command center. If it doesn't have energy, there's no detection whatsoever. He's saving it up, which I think is very, very smart at this point.
And these Stalkers, it's a 14-minute game here, and they've still not got blink, and dodging these tank shots with this Warp Prism. Oh, the tank's actually going to die here.
Oh, PartinG's going in.
He's committing.
He's going in. The Disruptor's coming down the ramp. He backs off. He almost loses one. He does lose one. And now a lot of SCVs are starting to take damage there. And PartinG tries to break him, can't do it.
The Mule got dropped. The Mule got dropped.
Oh, the Dark Shrine's almost finished up here.
This is very worrisome.
It is finished up. 4 Dark Templar in there. They get dropped off one at a time. There is no detection. There is nothing here. He can't do anything about it. He picks up and he has to evacuate this area. And TY's in trouble. These Dark Templar causing havoc.
Oh, he can scan though. He can scan them. Warp Prism can't commit. Or can it? He saves a TT.
He saves one, but then he can drop it back off again as soon as the scan is gone.
Oh, and it's... Oh my gosh, he did that just in range. GG!
PartinG ties it up.
Oh my lord, what a hard-fought game, and you can see it on PartinG there.
Whoa, that was intense for both sides. An impressive display, an impressive performance. One misclick, one mistake, the game was over. But they stuck through it, and we go to a game 5, the last one between these two players. And what a series this has turned. The first one of the day, and we are being treated by StarCraft's two finest StarCraft players in this tournament, and it's still a long way from the finals later on today.
This is so intense, man. Like, the fourth game of the series, tying it up. It's 2-2 now between these guys. And TY, he's not had an easy run, despite going against Puck before. In fact, there was Bomber as well, wasn't there? So 3-2 against Bomber, now 2-2 against PartinG. This is already insanely close, and that game, it's just left me bewildered.
A stressful game for both players in that booth, as everything is on the line now, going to the last map. Here's a couple of moments again from that last game.
You know what? I'm really sad that this isn't the replay or part where all those Marines on the right side die to a single disruptor shot.
Here's the winning move. The Dark Shrine comes in, and just enough energy is accumulated to take down 3. But notice how brave PartinG is with this Warp Prism coming from the left. It is at almost 0 hit points, but he comes in to save a unit.
Then drops it off just outside of range, just to taunt TY.
And instantly, with no detection left, GG was called.
Bam! There it is. Look at that glorious Marine desolation.
And what a treat this is for all of us around the world watching on Twitch, and of course here live at DreamHack Winter. And one of these players will be moving on to the next round, where either Showtime from Germany or Nurcho from Poland will be going up against. And I'm sure those two players, upon watching this, are going to be feeling a little bit nervous of how well these two players have brought their game up for the final day of this tournament.
And they really have brought it up. I mean, we saw something totally different from TY there. He's usually defending his little heart out, but there, proxy factory, proxy starport, liberators, tanks, a 1-1-1 push. Man, that made me think of Puma back in the old days. And here, Legacy of the Void, you are making me smile.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, game 5 is upon us. Which one of these two Korean players will go through? We're about to find out. One map to determine it all. Down here to the bottom right-hand side. What a performance in that last game. The Red Protoss player is PartinG!
And spawning on the opposite side of the map, on Ruins of Ceres, as our blue Terran, it is TY. I'm still shaking after that game. That was insane. I have not seen such a close game that came down literally to 1 DT in quite some time. So here, Ruins of Ceres, a 4-player map. You can have very, very different spawn locations. You can be horizontal, vertical, or as we see, cross-map.
Yep.
Now, in these positions, though, given that TY so far, in most of his games, has played a very defensive posture, I'd favor him. But now, PartinG, he's the guy going Nexus first here. And cross-map, unknowingly, this was the perfect decision.
Builds at this stage in a best of 5 of players thinking, loading into this, the size of the map, what's my opponent been doing most of the time? Can I run a risk to do something along these lines? PartinG said, yes, yes, I can. Whereas TY's opened up for a more traditional opening.
The Reaper opening, though, or rather the Nexus first opening, I really see no... It doesn't feel liable to me. Like, I feel that you can get away with this, even if you are against a Reaper, which is probably one of the best openings against a Nexus first, or at least we think of that in Heart of the Swarm. In this game, it doesn't feel like you can necessarily deal damage with it. The Mothership Core comes out so fast. The Adept can still come out so fast. The Reaper's on the map now, but the Cybernetic Core is being done. And TY, is he going to get to his base in time to deal damage? No, he's going to play defensive with the Reaper. So right now, I'm really liking PartinG's position.
Probe goes down, and all he knows is that this is more than likely just a Reaper expansion, but not confirmed. Of course, there's a bunch of variety of Terran builds that all of a sudden could be 10 Reapers coming to his base very shortly for all he knows. So it's not 100% certain, but he could take a stab in the dark that it is more than likely the expansion coming into play. The Mothership Core and Adept are on the way. The Adept, I imagine, is going to be the follow-up scout here to get confirmation on what TY is up to.
One beautiful thing about this map, too, that PartinG may have taken into account is the fact that a Reaper getting into the base only has one way, which is actually the ramp.
Yep.
You can't actually jump up those cliffs, even if it looks like you can jump up those side cliffs right there. And TY, man, he's going back to the tried and true. He's going for that 3-base style that he knows and loves.
And
this is a macro game, boys.
it's a macro game, boys. It's a big map. They're looking to play much longer in this game, or at least TY is for the time being. PartinG's chosen the robotics facility. He's had a lot of success with opening straight up for the robotics facility, whether it is for simple detection, whether he goes towards the Warp Prism early on. The Twilight Council is immediately added on off the back of the robotics facility.
Gas-wise, he could. I'm just wondering where he's going to go with this. This looks very Heart of the Swarm-esque so far. Throws down an Observer. In fact, did he cancel that, or did it pop out already?
He cancelled it.
So I wonder if he's saving gas for robotics, but he's definitely using his minerals on something. Now, that's an early
Warp
Cyclone,
Prism.
I believe.
An early Cyclone, an early Warp Prism.
These guys, they're both, like PartinG, after the first game of the series where he went 1-base hardcore aggression,
Yeah.
he's really slowed it down. Why do you think that is? Just nerves?
What if it doesn't work? And, you know, his aggression fails, and then that's the way he loses the tournament. I think he feels he probably has better chances later on.
Like, this is the last Terran left as well, so it's not about saving strategies. It's literally about doing what he thinks is best at the time to win. So if he feels it is this Nexus First style, despite winning so comfortably, like, he's had to really fight for his victories in the series.
Well, the Reaper here is the only scout from TY in this entire game so far, and it's only seen an Adept and the location of where the Protoss army is based, or the Protoss location is. He doesn't know anything other than that.
That is the most adventurous depot I have ever seen. Right at the bottom of his ramp there. And I guess one reason is you've seen Adepts so far. Adepts don't kill buildings fast anyway, so if you can see them just entering your base a little bit quicker, maybe that's the idea behind it.
Well, he's not going to see them if they come from the sky, as the Warp Prism is now loaded up with 3 Adepts.
The bunker positioning is
And a
nice.
lot of gateways being added on back at home here.
Ooh.
So we could be seeing a very strong follow-up blink attack coming out from PartinG, but let's find out how the initial attack comes. As at this point, he's aiming to deal as much damage to the SCV line to slow down TY's production and income as possible. And here comes the first drop.
This is a great drop. This is like the one point in TY's base that is undefended. Everywhere else, look, he's got Cyclones ready, he's got Marines ready, Siege Tanks even done there. He's going to run into the mineral line. I feel that standing on the SCVs would be a smarter plan here, because the tank's going to shoot you no matter what.
Yeah. Well, 2 Adepts go down. Third one's going to die as well. Only 4 SCVs have been killed. PartinG slowly moving out. Oh, no, the Warp Prism gets taken.
The scan! Beautiful! Beautiful play with that Cyclone. The Cyclone stops shooting if the unit goes out of vision. So he scanned there just to make sure that Warp Prism is no longer a threat.
There's no pilot on the other side of the map. He was looking to, you know, continue with this aggression, with this blink play. The Warp Prism was meant to be warping in units on the other side of the map very shortly. He now has to warp units over. He has to replenish the Warp Prism. And this has slowed down his overall attack plan so much.
Oh, and look at this. This is very clean micro from both of them here. But and he knows a stalk. Oh, he sees blink. He loses Cyclone, sure, but he sees blink. I'm very worried about the fact that he's got this third. And great decision-making by TY. He scans, sees there's no third, pulls back. This is so intelligent by TY.
And already, PartinG decided to throw down the robotics bay just at the back of all of this, but he's fully dedicated. There's no upgrades. There's nothing. And already, he starts to sense that this might not work. He throws down the third Nexus. He throws down that Forge. And now, it's a game of how long will TY take to figure this out. And PartinG has found a tech lab at the very least. It's going to stop combat shields.
They are both playing so ridiculously smart right now. And TY, he's respecting this as much as he should be, given that he didn't see a third, so he's pulled all his SCVs. But PartinG right now, he's loving this because he's actually taking a third. And he finds a hole, he takes out the tank almost immediately here.
And he can't take down the bunker, though. Too many SCVs. He does lose quite a few of these Stalkers, but he continues to put the pressure on, slows down 2 of these barracks from finishing up. But Stim is done. 1-1, about to finish for TY as well.
TY's got to be sniffing this out here. There's not enough Stalkers to really be aggressive here, to really be an all-in. So I'm imagining that he's starting to think that it must be a third. Put quite a few SCVs back onto mining, but a few are still dilly-dallying around.
Well, at this time, PartinG still needs a lot of additional time to prepare himself for a push that could come out. He's trying to get up upgrades. He's trying to get the Disruptors down. He blinks forward, finds a Marauder.
PartinG's trading ever so cost efficiently here. And this is just a group of Stalkers. Here, though, taking a bit of a fight, but nice blinks away at the last second there.
Yeah, Warp Prism coming into the main base. A nice backstab from PartinG as TY a little bit far out of position. A big warp in here, 7 additional depths.
That warp in looks so scary now, too. So awesome looking. And 7 SVs have fallen so far. But these Adepts, they're not in the main base anymore. They're in the natural. They're dealing damage again.
Yeah, they're dealing a lot of SCVs. 10, 11 have gone down. And at the same time, he's blink controlling these Stalkers.
Oh, man.
17 SCVs. He's going towards the main base once again.
And they're just dancing around, and now he's splitting up the army. And the Stalkers alone are very, very strong. The Adepts alone are very, very strong. TY is not really mining so much right now.
21 SCVs have been killed with this attack, and another large warp-in.
And he's using the SCVs. He wants him to use the SCVs. That's his main goal here. He wants to kill as many SCVs as he can, so the fact he's using them to fight, and he gets away with 4 Adepts right there.
Critical damage has been landed now by PartinG, who's got a 3rd up and running. He's got disruptors out. He's getting some upgrades now as well. And TY is in a bit of a difficult situation, having lost 41 workers over the last few minutes to the Adepts and to the Stalkers. And where do you go? What do you do now as TY?
TY has to deal damage. After taking so much damage, he has to deal it. But marching across the map against this huge amount of Stalkers, and the fact that PartinG could just play aggressive here, it's getting troublesome, but that's a large amount of bio. Picking off the medevacs here, nice micro by PartinG.
Yeah, good micro indeed. He's blinking Stalkers back, and finally, seems like he's going to be able to take down these units. The Disruptor comes in for good measure.
The Disruptors.
Oh, great grab there of one flying back medevac.
I love how PartinG's played this game.
I think PartinG's looking for a kill here. Demuslim, he warps in another big round of Stalkers with 2 Disruptors.
And this is the PvP army. Nice dodges there. The Disruptor ball does not really deal as much damage. The second Disruptor falls as well, but a 3rd one joins the fray. That ball is going to get damage done. Yes, quite a few Marines die.
And
PartinG,
he jumps forward here, and he looks like he's going to be able to turn this series around.
GG!
PartinG wins 3 games to 2. In an epic series between the both of them. After all team lost, PartinG comes out on top and moves through to another round in this tournament. 1 step closer towards that championship. 1 step closer to a potential rematch versus Solar. But TY, so close but so far.
So close but so far. Just a few little different decisions maybe in that orbital shipyard game, and it could have went his way. It looked like he couldn't lose at some points, but PartinG, man, his tenacity, he really held on there.
He really held on from the game prior where all team lost, the Liberators, the tanks, the very clutch decisions, and that was a championship winning performance from PartinG, who a lot of people may have been counting out after the domination we saw from Solar and others, but that was mind-blowing how well he played.
Yeah, one thing that really shone through there in that 5th game too was how confident he was. They were both reading each other so well, and despite losing the Warp Prism, despite his harass not going very well early on, he managed to be aggressive while putting up a 3rd and killing him with some light pressure, but then realized how strong it was, turned it into heavy pressure.
Well, congratulations to PartinG. He moves through to the next round after a 3-2 win versus TY.
PartinG, that was by far and away the most exciting StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void match I've seen at this tournament. How satisfying is it to be the one that comes out on top with the really tough-fought 3-2 win? 일단 그 경기들이 진짜 재밌었거든요. 팬들도 너무 좋아했었고 그렇게 어렵게 이긴 3대2로 이겼는데 그만큼 더 막 행복할 것 같은데 그 심정을 좀 얘기해 주세요.
일단 제 개인적으로 경기력이 굉장히 좀 안 좋았다고 생각하거든요. 제가 근데
경기들에서요?
그냥 모든 경기들이 그냥 모두 제가 컨디션이 약간 좀 안 좋은 것 같아가지고 별로 좀 좋은 경기력 안 나왔는데, 근데 어떻게 보면 또 팬분들이 또 재밌게 봐주신 것 같기도 해요. 왜냐하면 재밌는 게임들이 뭔가 나온 것 같아서. 그래서 너무 지금 흥분되고 긴장되고 그래서 너무 좋아요.
So he says, overall, in general, at this tournament, I haven't been satisfied with my gameplay. I felt like my condition wasn't that great. I felt like the games and the play that I was coming forth and showing you guys was not my top gameplay, and so I haven't been satisfied. But that being said, as I was playing, I can tell that you guys really enjoyed it, so I'm really, really happy about that. And as he was giving this answer, he was like, oh, I'm so excited right now, and it's really hard for me to describe what I'm feeling, but obviously you must be happy with that 3-2 victory. And let's talk about those games. They were so action-packed. I'm gonna jump into that game too, because that game started off so well for you. You had some really sick adept harass, and you killed so many SCVs. And then you lost that game. So what do you think went wrong there? 일단 그 두 번째 경기에서는 이제 처음에 되게 좋게 시작했어요. SCV도 엄청 많이 죽이고. 근데 그런 시작에서 그래도 경기가 졌어요. 그래서 뭐가 잘못된 것 같으세요?
어제 간단하게 술 몇 잔 마셨더니 정신을 못 차리는 것 같아서 긴장이 많이 되더라고요. 손도 막 생각하는 대로 안 따라주고. 그래서 좀 경기력이 좀 안 좋았던 것 같아요.
Guys, you got to give PartinG some credit for being honest. He says, if I'm honest, guys, yesterday I had some alcohol. Today, because of that, I don't feel that I in that game specifically, I didn't feel I was as focused as I could have been because of the alcohol that I had. So that being said, because of that, I got a little bit nervous, and that's why I think that game slipped away from me. But thankfully, in the rest of the games, especially that game 4 that was so packed, there was so much micro going on, and then you made the clutch decision of making DTs. You said that it was hard to focus, but in that game, you looked incredibly focused. How were you able to stay so calm and make sure you won that game?
일단 그 네 번째 경기에서는 진짜 재밌었어요. 진짜 누가 이기는지도 확실히 몰랐고, 근데 그 순간에 그 DT를 만드는 선택을 하셨는데 어떻게 흥분하지 않고 그렇게 차분하게 하셨나요?
솔직히 말하면은 거기서 DT가 이제 이길 수 있는 방법이었는데 좀 어떻게 보면 또 제가 판단이 또 안 돼가지고 원래 더 빨리 DT를 메이크 했었어야 했는데 그 부분이 좀 아쉬웠던 것 같고 개인적으로 그 게임은 진짜 좀 서로 약간 좀 긴장해가지고 좀 뭔가 재밌게 나온 것 같아요 게임이.
So he says, honestly, yeah, making the DTs was the game-winning decision of that game. But if I'm being honest, I really should have made that decision way sooner because the game could have been over then. But I think that game was just full of nerves from both of us. We were both really nervous, and we're trying to micro our hearts out. But obviously, with so much on the line, and I think that's why the game kind of went out as long as it did. And last but not least, PartinG, you have now secured your position in the top 4 of the first Legacy of the Void tournament. But it hasn't been easy to get here. Even when we speak with you, you haven't sounded like the same confident PartinG that talks big. How are you feeling about your chances on taking the championship?
일단 마지막으로 이제 4강 이제 탑4 이제 당연하게 됐는데, 근데 이제 우리 원인삭 선수랑 얘기했을 때는 이제 그 옛날에 그 자신감 넘치는 원인삭 선수 같지는 않아요. 그래서 일단 그 우승할 가능성 대해서 어떻게 생각하세요?
일단 여기 팬분들이 제 팬분들도 많이 와주셨다고 생각하는데 솔직히 여기 드림핵 왔을 때는 우승보다는 그때 말씀드렸다시피 그냥 최선을 다해서 이제 공허의 유산이 처음 나온 오프라인 토너먼트잖아요. 그래서 제가 우승하는 것도 좋지만 그냥 경기력에서 재미가 있는 경기력을 보여드리고 싶었고 만약에 제가 결승까지 가게 된다면은 솔라 선수랑 뭔가 할 것 같은데 어제는 약간 무기력하게 졌는데 오늘은 좀 더 재밌는 경기력을 팬분들한테 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 만약 결승 가서 하게 된다면.
So he says, first of all, when I look at all the fans that are in the audience, I feel like some of you guys are my fans as well, so I'm really thankful for that. And that being said, when I came to this tournament, I came with the mindset of, of course, winning would be nice, but I came because I wanted to show really good Legacy of the Void games. And I feel that thus far, I have been able to do that. And if I am able to make it to the finals, I have a feeling it's going to be against Solar. And yesterday, unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that well against him, but hopefully today I will be able to make a difference and show really good performance there. So congratulations again on making it to the top 4, and PartinG will secure himself. It's further along in the tournament. So back to the desk.
Thank you very much to PartinG. Boy, oh boy, man, watching that match. Damn. That was such a good series to be able to watch. I cannot imagine what's going through PartinG's head on Orbital Shipyard when he's on 2 bases. His opponent's command center is in the air, and he's got tanks and liberators like pressing in on him. I feel like almost any other Protoss would crumble under that pressure.
It was insane. I don't think any player has ever been in that situation before where your opponent's mining from your third, which is just below your main.
And that's his main, too. His main is in your third.
Yeah, and for a good length of time now, I really thought TY was going to take it. The tank dropping was insane, but the warp prism control from PartinG in that game, managing to like use warp prisms to drop on the tanks, because the tank count got up to like 5 or 6, and somehow they got like really, really whittled down, so really clean play from PartinG.
Yeah, I mean, PartinG just had really phenomenal use of the warp prisms, especially all throughout the series. It was really nice to see his disruptor usage, too. Even in Game 5 here, we got to see a little bit of it, even though it wasn't quite the deal sealer. He really just blew my mind. It was so close. And I also think it also comes down to, in that game, too, he had the last-second save on that Dark Templar.
I mean, what went wrong here for TY, Snoot?
I think protecting the third was a little bit too much, or trying to secure the third. Definitely should have stayed on 2 bases, but then again, I mean, already took so much damage earlier, like right before this clip, we saw all the adepts dealing so much damage to the mineral line. I'm not sure if TY would have even been able to recover if he didn't try to secure that third, so it's just, after all the adepts killed so many SCVs, just such a tough spot to be in.
And I was thinking, and tell me if you agree or not, Ben, but like this is one of those things that's going to cause a trend, right? Where I feel like you're going to have to start building like those 2 depots, the same way that Protoss used to try to block Reapers with gateways or pylons. Like as Terran, I feel like we're going to have to start building supply depots behind our mineral lines so that it's not as easy for these adepts to just run around us. And because he got pulled apart by those adepts as well.
He got pulled apart, but also one thing that he did quite poorly against it, he didn't section off his army into 2 groups to deal with the adepts. He kept chasing where the main adept army went, and as soon as he was dealing damage on one base, he was sending the shades to the other. The army was chasing after the adepts where they were, not their shades. So I really felt that was kind of down to TY not dealing with it as well as he should be too. But also not lifting up the depots between the bases.
Yeah.
Allowing the adepts to run free, like they just went mental.
This was an insane combination attack from PartinG as well, using the Warp Prism, Blink Stalkers, and Adepts at the same time. The multitasking required from these players in this series, with so much on the line as well, was just insane.
I think it'd be a shame to not mention that Prion Terrace's game as well. Like at any point there was a drop hitting on both sides of the map. The Warp Prism play was absolutely nuts, managing to get it past the turret rings. I can't. Like that, these are the games where every person that's watching this tournament right now that wants to learn Legacy of the Void, those are the replays you want the most. We saw everything come out from both sides, and I'm kind of speechless. I don't really know what else to say. That series was just so cool. Do you guys have anything else that really stood out to you there?
I just think that was by far the best series of the entire tournament. We've seen some good games, we've seen some good series, but that stands. And it's not just this tournament, that is the best series, I would say, of Legacy of the Void, and not just Legacy, but maybe even the last 6, 12 months, maybe more, that we've seen in StarCraft in a very, very long time.
With a scoreline like this, though, so close, I can't help but think of game number 1 being that crazy.
That's my ladder. There, he's pulling a Nathanius, just dying to the Oracle Adept push.
If I play Terran, maybe this would be my veto.
I'm glad that was game 1, because I hope the Protoss players forgot about that, so that we can ladder in peace. We still have a lot of StarCraft action coming up, of course, to our next lower bracket match. Your boy, Showtime, that a lot of you have been cheering for, my boy Nurchio, who I think is a force to be reckoned with.
Showtime is going to show everybody worldwide how to play Protoss versus Zerg, and he's going to crush.
Old words. Any other thoughts before we go to break, guys?
Nurchio, one of the TvP legends, he was one of the Zergs that succeeded a lot, both in Wings of Liberty and in Heart of the Swarm, even without using Swarm Hosts, when Swarm Hosts seemed to be the strongest way to deal with Protoss. So I think Showtime, this is probably going to be the toughest of the European Zergs so far.
When you have a Zerg that can dictate the pace of the game, against Protoss, that's when you see them really shine. We saw Solar rip apart PartinG when he played, because he got to dictate the pace. And Nurchio, he's not the kind of guy that gets pushed around either. And I don't think Showtime's going to get to do his own style without Nurchio coming to intervene somewhat.
All right, well, sounds like it's shaping up to be an awesome match. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the tournament as much as we are. I really feel like that last series was something special. I can't wait to see what else we get up to here at the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship. We'll be back with that next match, Showtime versus Nurchio, after this short break.